2 people waiting.
Okay, great.
So-
Wonderful. I'll try getting in now too.
Okay,
Thank you.
I'll let these people in. Admit all.
Okay. Thanks, Mary.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
Hi, everybody.
Hello, everybody. Let's see, asked to unmute. Am I Wellfleet 1? Let's see. I might be Wellfleet 1.
I see.
I am.
Lovely. There you are.
Elaine, I just went through this with Elaine. She couldn't log in from Mexico as the host. So that's why I am hosting. And she should be on right now.
Awesome. I'm going to end up turning off my video too, just because our internet has been very bad in this one room, you know, where I am as well. So it'll help.
Okay.
Hi, Sarah.
Hi, Richard.
Hi, Gary.
Hi, Richard. How are you?
Oh, and now we're going to get it rubbed in with like the palm
Oh,
in the
boy.
background.
Oh, boy.
Oh, boy.
There's way too much sun here. There's nowhere to sit to get out of it.
Oh, we feel so bad for you.
Yeah, Elaine.
Yeah.
You're breaking my heart, Elaine.
I'm sorry. I'm just gonna let Rebecca know we got in just so she doesn't do anything more.
Boy, does it look beautiful there, Elaine.
It has been beautiful, I have to say. Yeah,
It looks
Yeah.
gorgeous.
yeah, yeah. Okay, so all right. This meeting,
Let's see. Is anyone, wait, is Mia joining us or no?
no, she isn't. Yeah. So I think we're all here. Sharon, I hadn't heard anything from Sharon whether she was going to be an interested party or not. So, but thank you for getting this started, Gary. This is a meeting of the Wellfleet Housing Authority on Thursday, February 3rd, and the meeting is being recorded. I hope you all fared okay in the blizzard.
It was beautiful.
Good. Yeah. All right.
All right, Elaine, I have one. I have a plumber in the house.
Mhm.
I'm deeply grateful to have a plumber in the house,
Right.
but if I disappear for a couple of minutes, you'll know what happened.
Okay. I think that
Yes,
might,
and I'm going to keep my video on as long as I can. Our internet has been in, out, in, out, in, out, so I may pop it off if it starts to spot up on me.
I think maybe,
Elaine,
is that Rebecca?
there's 2 Wellfleet Zoom 1s now.
It may be that Rebecca got the message and she's,
I did.
thank
Oh.
you. I knew you probably would, but I called Gary and gave him the info. Can you make me the host, Rebecca?
I probably have to log back in, Elaine.
That's all right. I'll sign off. I just wanted to make sure you guys had your meeting started, okay?
Yep. Thank you so
I
much.
Thank
can
you
make
so
you the
much.
host, Gary, and just go.
Yeah, make Gary the host. That'd be great.
All right, you're all set?
Thank you so much, Rebecca.
Thank you, Rebecca.
Thank
No
you,
problem.
Rebecca.
Yeah, funny. All right, good. She's so good about doing that, but I was nervous that I didn't hear immediately. That was great. All right. So the first on our, and we have some noise here too, which is why I'm outside where there's a little less noise, but okay. First on the agenda are Richard's minutes, which we all got. Were there any additions or corrections? Okay, is there a motion to approve the minutes of January 6th.
So moved.
Second,
Great. All in favor, or raise our hands, we're all visible right now. 4-0, unanimous. Okay, I'm just calling up the agenda. I think next is rental assistance and bills, which always seem to kind of go together.
Okay, we have two bills from homeless prevention. One for $18.65. And I believe that is the February rental assistance, regular rental assistance, $18.65.
I move we pay Homeless Prevention Council $1,865 for February regular rental assistance.
Second,
Go ahead.
any other questions? This doesn't include emergency, Gary, as far as you
Correct, I
know.
have another one for emergency.
All right, so all in favor of paying $18.65 to homeless prevention for February rental assistance, say aye, raise your hand.
Aye.
Aye.
4-0, thank you.
The second one I have is for $693.75, and that's for emergency rental assistance, $693.75 to homeless prevention for emergency assistance. You want me to just move these?
Yeah,
All right.
Okay.
I
I'll
move to
second.
pay.
I'll second.
okay.
I thought at one point they were gonna just put them together. but-
Well, that, when we get, if we're having discussion now, so Bridget sent me an email saying this was the last month they would do separate.
Okay,
Okay.
So I have two questions though related to that. Elaine, we had talked at one point about consolidating the contract or redoing the contract.
Mhm. I've asked them several times and haven't seen anything.
So do we need to do that before we consolidate them?
I don't think so.
No, okay.
But
The
I'll
second-
ask them again.
Yeah, just ask them. It'd be nicer before next month's meeting if
We'll
we
give that
Yeah.
deadline.
cross that T and dot that I, so we have the right to pay the right amount. And the second question I had is, Richard, I'm a little confused. Bridget asked me about the authorization letters. I asked you. and Somebody has to have them.
Well, hold on. Two things. One,
Okay.
I never see authorization
Yeah,
letters.
nor do I, right.
Okay,
Yeah.
it was something I called Maggie and they got that sorted.
So they have whatever authorizations they need.
Things came to us that shouldn't have.
Okay, so,
Oh, that's sorted.
okay.
And I
so-
believe the other thing I want to say is I believe February is the last month for the emergency rental assistance that client. So I will talk to Maggie about whether that's going to get changed over to what's the situation there.
Right.
Okay, so thank you. It's been moved and seconded to pay $693.75 to Homeless Prevention Council for emergency rental assistance. All in favor?
Aye.
4-0, thank you.
Okay, I have one more bill, and Elaine, this is the bill I emailed you about. It's for $250 for liability insurance. Of course, it's past due, but to travelers insurance for Payne Hollow.
Yeah,
And I'm unclear that we need to continue to carry that, but if you think we should, we can certainly do it another year. At some point, it has to transfer.
right, because it used to be for both Gull Pond and Payne Hollow, and then, once Gull Pond was up and running, we didn't have that anymore, but Ted did counsel that we should pay it another year.
This year, so,
Yeah.
and then I would also report, if you want, we do not own 90 Freeman.
Right.
I emailed Vale, and she said it's still listed as town-owned.
Yeah, so we don't,
So we don't need to add it this year.
no.
Okay.
Yeah.
At the point in which, I'm sorry.
I move the payment of the $250 to Travelers for Payne Hollow.
Very good.
Second.
Sarah seconds, good. Any more questions about that? Okay, all in favor, raise your hand, say aye.
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 4-0.
I did not receive a invoice this month from CDP yet. So those are the bills I have to offer.
I think does the Travelers get paid through Benson Young and Downs?
If I'm not mistaken, I think the check actually goes to Travelers Lane.
I think we've paid it late just about every year. They'll.
I think so too.
reimburse.
All right.
Okay. Next on the agenda, I put the governor's appointee vacancy. I did contact the town to let them know and ask about making that vacancy known, and didn't get a response. So I contacted Jeannie McLaughlin yesterday, and she's gonna, the initial email I sent, she's gonna put in the selectmen's package just so that they have the information about the vacancy and that we are looking for someone that would be willing to apply to the state to be to fill that vacancy. I haven't done anything more about that myself. I don't know if anybody has been thinking about people we could approach.
I spoke to somebody that has approached me before, who I think would be perfect. She and her wife moved here permanently with 2 young kids, maybe 3 years ago. She's an architect and lives actually right near the big project at the ball field. And so anyway, I thought she would be wonderful, but it sounds like they may have to relocate back to Boston next year, which sort of makes it a bit, tougher. So I don't know what to say about that. She was wondering whether she could still participate remotely, but I don't know what happens if her residence actually changes. So I just don't have, so that was my one attempt.
Yeah, I mean, if you would be comfortable, Sarah, you could give her my contact info if she wanted to just ask any questions.
I would love to do that. I'll put the 2 of you in touch. Her name is Thea.
I made an announcement at the partnership about the vacancy, but I thought maybe someone would rise to the occasion, but.
It would make sense if there was someone on the partnership that was interested, but.
Is there someone in particular you would like me to approach individually?
I think if people weren't expressing willingness.
Right,
Yeah. It's a little tricky because, the select board doesn't appoint this person, the governor's office does, but we certainly want the support of the select board. I remember we brought Mia as a candidate to the select board and they were very, positive about that. So then she applied to the state. So I'm sort of assuming the same kind of process, but we will have to find a good person. It took a long time last time, so. But if you think of anyone, let me know and I'd be happy to approach them and answer any questions. Okay, next on the agenda is the DLT Grant Request. This is Ryan Curley let all the departments and committees know about this money that's available from the Cape Cod Commission. 2 years ago, we got that grant to do the wastewater study through this, just really writing a letter requesting. And Gary thought that this might be an opportunity to request funds for a new housing production plan. Our current plan was written really in 2017. And So since then, there have been a lot of changes, including all the new census data and the new housing trust and the pandemic. And so, looking ahead for a new 5-year plan, a really full-blown plan with a lot of community engagement seems to cost around $25,000. We got a $30,000 grant last time. So we thought it was worth applying for these funds. Just want to get any feedback or questions or interest from the rest of you about this.
Elaine, the only thing I would say is that in addition to having more recent data and reflecting the changes in the town, as I said, we grew substantially in the
That's right,
last year, but the second thing is that more of a focus on community housing as opposed to exclusively affordable housing, and whether we call that.
Right. I think
working people.
a part of the focus, I think that the main thing is, we still have to have efforts for affordable.
No, I understand, but to broaden
Yeah, because our trust, the town voted our trust to serve.
well, that's another good reason. Yep.
120%. So
Yeah.
I think, and I think when we had our other plan done, I mean, we had some input, but the consultant really did a ton of the work, which I think is what we need because we have a lot on our plate right now. But any questions? And the trust meets Monday night, so we hope the trust would be in support of this too. It's due February 10th, so.
Are we asking for enough, Elaine?
Oh, I think so, yeah. If we have 25,000, I think we'll be good.
I just, reiterate what you both have said about all the changes that have taken place in the last 5 years. And, it's time to push the refresh button, certainly. And, that this makes really good sense. So I just want to be.
We'll need it in support of 95 Lawrence funding requests, but also should we be doing anything more substantial on community housing?
And I think, we have a lot of support from the select board right now with Ryan putting forward the potential zoning change. And also in the interim, the state has put forward legislation to make certain zoning changes easier for towns. So, I think still looking at inclusionary zoning for our town to not miss out on any further opportunities of other pieces of land getting developed would be beneficial. So,
Elaine, you mentioned Ryan's zoning thing. He was going to bring it to the select board on the 8th on Tuesday. Do you know if that agenda has been posted yet?
Well, it probably won't be posted until Friday afternoon.
Another day, so we don't know whether it's actually on the agenda.
Right. I think I'll attend because I think our letter about the governor's appointee will be, I don't know if it'll be discussed, but I'll be there in case.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
But if, I guess.
I guess maybe could I ask for a vote in support of applying for a DLTA funds for a new housing production plan?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any more discussion on that? All in favor, raise your hand, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Sarah, did I hear you?
Yes, yes.
Okay, great.
I'm sorry. I keep moving around the house trying to find a spot where you guys don't go.
Oh.
So sorry.
All right, that's wonderful. Thank you. Okay. The buy down is next on the agenda, and we are having the closing for our newest buy down family recipients on Friday. There's been one little, as with these buy downs, once all the final information was put together, it was discovered that there's a bit of a gap in the down payment assistance, and that wasn't really anticipated correctly. It's a piece of information we have to make sure is much clearer the next time we do this. But our Ann Robinson, who administers the buy down and the down payment assistance for us, requested that we consider giving the buy down recipient at least $5,000 in down payment assistance that would then not deplete their entire savings. I mean, this should have been anticipated ahead of time and people should have known this, but it didn't happen that way. So I think it's an issue with our program that it is a stretch for people to buy the houses. I think we've acknowledged that we probably need more in the future to do it. So I would be in favor of giving some down payment assistance money to our buy down person. It would have to be after the fact. It can't be in time for the closing, but it would still be interest-free loan that would get registered at the county and would have to be repaid if the house was ever sold. So I'm looking for discussion about that and questions.
Elaine, I'm a little unclear. Is there money? Are you asking us for money that will be required for this closing to be successful on Friday?
No, our client has the money, but once that's paid on Friday, there will be no savings left, basically.
Okay, so this is for money going forward. In other words, what's going to happen on Friday has just raised the problem for us, and we're going to try to correct that.
Right. It would be a reimbursement as a loan. Ideally, it would have been something that was incorporated
Okay.
as part of the closing, but.
Okay.
I have a little misgiving about it. I'm sorry, Richard.
No, go ahead, Gary.
First, did we actually get the amount from Ann?
No, I haven't yet. I was gonna, if I make a motion, I was gonna make it for probably more than we need, up to a certain amount.
Okay, and the second thing is obviously, we just made a substantial investment in a home for this person for $175,000, we the taxpayers. And if they have the money, should we be reimbursing? Because in the past, I think, has the down payment assistance gone to the individual, or has it gone to the bank? Or
It's gone to the bank.
yeah, so this idea of reimbursing someone, it makes me a little bit nervous. And the third thing, I want to make sure, as I recall, I don't think we have any money left in that CPA grant. And that this would be coming out of some other funds, trust funds, or
Well, I thought we had only done 3.
three.
Yeah.
I'm not 100% sure, Elaine, whether we still have money left or not.
That would be important to find out if it's
Right.
possible to find out.
Right, so that's why it does make me a little bit cautious about I think the source of it, Richard, to answer your question, was the buyer, our buy down person, has to put in a certain amount themselves from their own funds
Right.
for the down payment. And the amount was somewhat miscalculated. So that's why she had to draw on more of her own money than she thought she would, and that's why she now has a hole in her finances. I'm not unsympathetic
Right.
to it, but it just makes me a little nervous of what we're doing.
Okay.
Well, I think it's.
But Gary, am I understanding you so that if the numbers are clear and accurate in the future, this sort of in part solve this problem, right?
Right, and And to be fair to this person, we gave the last buy down person both, the buy down grant and down payment assistance. And I think we may have done one other, Elaine, I'm not sure. Anyway, so it's not that the practice is unprecedented,
Right.
that this idea of reimbursement makes me a little nervous, as well as where the money is coming from.
Okay.
Okay, I think potentially, I mean, I think it's a weak point of the buy down. It's always
Yeah.
been a little hairy at the end to have the figures, and I think there has to be much better communication with the buyer and the bank and the person that's administering for
Yeah.
us.
We all agree with me.
Yeah, definitely. My thought is potentially we should get a little more information and consider this again at the next meeting.
Maybe that would, right, then we'd have all the details of actually how much and,
Yeah,
You
because
know.
we just found this out really yesterday. or the day
Yesterday.
before.
right,
Yeah, I mean, I think it's, if we're gonna put someone in a house, we have to make sure they're in it without,
right. No one is looking to,
Jeopardizing.
right, no one is looking to put them under strain, but
Right. I think we do need a little more information. We do need to make sure if we have the funds in the CPA grant still. I mean, the initial request was for potentially $5,000. We don't have the exact number. It will probably be close to that. So I think finding out the status of the CPA grant, because if the money isn't there, we definitely have to look elsewhere from the trust problem. So, and talk about the down payment program as a whole too, going forward.
right.
So,
Elaine, it's also, I can't, I think closings get a little hairy at the end. It just comes with the territory, I'm, all of this other stuff aside, it's just the way it works.
yeah, right.
But to the extent we can eliminate all of that, we should try.
Yeah, I mean, it's such a positive program, and it's just so exciting that, one of our local families is getting this house, and we want to make sure that the program is as good as it can be. But I think I would feel more comfortable getting the further information that we need and coming back
Yes.
in March.
That's great.
If it gets really intense, maybe we would have a sooner meeting, but we'll get the information and then go. from
Elaine,
there.
I don't have any problem if you want to bring forward a motion to authorize you to take action up to a certain amount if you need to, and otherwise we'll deal with it at the next meeting if you're more comfortable with that.
That would be excellent if you felt comfortable with that, Gary.
Yeah, I mean, we don't know exactly what is going to happen or what we're going to find out or what the time is, and we only meet once a month.
Mhm.
Do you want to make that motion, Elaine?
Gary, would you make it, please?
You may.
Sure, I would authorize the chair to use her discretion in paying a down payment assistance to the buy down recipient. Should I name them, Elaine?
No,
Subject to her investigation,
of available.
an amount, did I say an amount?
Sure.
Up to $5,000.
I can second that.
Okay, any more discussion? I would say if we find out that our buy down program funds are depleted, we will come back in March to discuss the other way, potentially pay this. Or to,
What about if I just tack onto your motion, Gary, up to $5,000, provided those funds are available?
Sure. I'm okay with that.
Okay?
Mhm. Or you could say, or such funds as available. We don't really know how much.
Okay. Or such.
Or, no, maybe that's too broad.
All right, listen, you know what? Let's put it in there. It expresses our intent. When
Okay.
I do the draft, Elaine can look at it and we can tighten it up if need be.
Thank you.
Okay, any more discussion on that?
Are we still on the top? Oh, did we take a vote? Yeah.
Haven't taken a vote yet. No.
Okay.
Okay. All right, all in favor of the motion? Please raise your hand.
Aye.
Say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you very much.
I have another thing about buy down if we're still on that topic, Elaine.
Sure.
Sarah, we do have a buy down funding through CPA that's going to be on the warrant in April.
Mm-hmm.
And we are now thinking that we are going to open up a buy down session in the spring. So if you know of anybody who would be a potential candidate and might be looking for a house, we hope to have something available once that's passed.
I think I do, actually. I've mentioned it to a couple people to keep their eyes out and that I would keep them in the loop. And
Yeah, so let's assume that we have our town meeting at the end of April and that it gets passed, then we would open up the process, in the May, June timeframe.
that sounds wonderful.
Yeah, so we'll keep you posted.
Sounds good. I'll keep my eyes out for little houses too.
Well,
Okay, anything else on the buy down? I put our mission statement, goals, strategies next, but all I really want to say about that is I feel like we have finished with ours. We're looking into maybe one or two wrap-up meetings with Mass Housing Partnership, under this trust intensive, which also asked all our other committees to kind of come up with these goals and mission and goals. So I feel like we can close the book on our part of it. I think, Richard, do we vote it in the minutes? I can't remember. We've actually
In
voted.
January,
Yeah.
hold on. Oh, I just had them. Wait a minute.
Elaine, while Richard is looking at that, I have a meeting in my calendar for next Wednesday, the 9th with MHP. Is that
Mhm.
still on?
Andrea was looking into that, whether, yeah. We had set that date quite a long time ago with Shelley, I believe.
Right.
Yeah, so
And we, okay, so it may or may not be on.
we'll find out.
I don't think so, Elaine.
Okay, well, if we wrap it up with Shelley, we'll do a official vote next time then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Project updates. Did all of you, I'm sorry, I just sent you the draft of the website yesterday. Did Sarah and Richard, did you get a chance to look at it?
I looked
Yeah.
at it.
What you think?
Beautiful work.
Elaine, I just, here's what I'll be brief. I just remember trying to find the Word version of the application and playing like Inspector Clouseau with Radu when he was the assistant there, and going through that whole revision process and all the rest of that stuff, and meetings with Paul Pilcher and this, that, and the other thing. And to go to this website now and have like these 3 clean presentations, of the Red Soul assistants, the buy down and other assistants, in such an attractive and efficient way is wonderful. And it just, is illustrative of how far things have come. And it also shows, the skill of these website designers and putting something there that's really friendly to the people who are investigating it. So I wanted to say something like that, and I did, and now I'll zip it up.
Yeah, it's been an absolute pleasure working with Barbara Woodbury. And as you know, she's doing this, as a
Yeah.
volunteer.
Yeah,
Quite wonderful.
Yeah.
So I'm really pleased with what we have so far. We're going to try to tighten up the ADU section. We had some back and forth with the building inspector. He's really supportive, but really wants it to be clear, as much, clear for people on the website as possible. And we're waiting for some info from him. Gary and I were talking after our check-in with CDP, and, sadly feel like we have to wait for the online donation part of it to really happen until the town's finances are settled, and we can work harder on that. But we certainly will continue to, solicit donations by check and wire transfer but we feel like we have to drop that. It's a goal still to have online donations, but it's just not going to happen.
It's on the trust agenda for Monday, so we can see what other people think as well.
Right. Yeah. So I'm thinking within the next month we should be ready to launch. I hope.
It's exciting.
yeah.
Yeah. And Barbara has actually volunteered to do updates to it free of charge too, unless we get someone else in our group, or if Kalinda at CDP was willing to take that on. She has offered to do that the same way Jeff Tash was doing it for us with the old website. So we've been very, very fortunate to have such generous and talented people helping us out.
Absolutely.
Elaine, you're talking about the website, the question about the domain names and the hosting, what's the best way to handle it?
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, that was the question. I mean, we were talking about changing from wellfleetaffordablehousing.org to just wellfleethousing.org. And at first the website group really liked that, but Gary, we can have both addresses, but why two? If like Barbara said, one address could go to the other, but is it just confusing to have two, or should I talk?
No, Elaine, when you type in something,
Yeah.
you look up something in Google or whatever it is. So if you have those multiple, it will point you to the same website. So even if you put in Wellfleet Housing as opposed to Wellfleet Affordable Housing, it'll still go to.
Okay, so you think it's valuable to have?
It's like a pointer, yeah. It's a good thing to have. My only question was, would people think, and Sarah, maybe this is a question for you, would people think it's a real estate listing, Wellfleet Housing?
Oh, yeah, I wouldn't worry about that too much, actually.
No?
I wouldn't. I mean, even if they do, then good. I hope they land on affordable housing and donate when they can. Yeah.
That was my thought right now, exactly too.
All right, then I don't have any objection if you guys don't.
Okay,
No.
all right. Great.
So are we calling it wellfleethousing.org?
So we have to pick one of them to be the main one, is that right?
I don't want to muddy the waters here, but let me. The housing authority, this meeting here, I mean, our remit, so to speak, was affordable housing. And Gary, as you pointed out earlier now, there is this community housing aspect as to what's going on that is part and parcel of what the local housing partnership and the housing trust are about. They broaden this. And I'm just concerned that, you know, we don't lose sight of the affordable housing aspect of this. And, you know, that people, you know, I think there are some people who want to contribute to affordable housing, the old capital A affordable housing as well. So I don't know how that factors into what you guys are talking about now, if it does at all, but just wanted to get that out there.
Okay, we'll talk about this with the trust too, just to, you know, if, which
Why
address.
don't we make a recommendation? I don't have any problem if we ask for both names and we figure out the actual name of the website based upon both input from the trust and the partnership.
Sounds good.
Elaine, we need an authorization to spend though. If we, the housing authority are spending the money for that.
That's right. Okay. How much was it? Let me find.
Well, can I make a motion that we authorize the spending of up to $1,000 for hosting and domain names for the new website?
I'll second that. Any more discussion?
I just have one discussion, which is if in fact they require a credit card, do we have enough credit card demand that we should seek to get one or a debit card?
I don't think so. Barbara
No.
did say they're not going to bill us. It is going to have to be a credit card.
Right.
So I'm willing to do that this time.
Okay.
Um,
I can pursue the question if you want, whether the town has one. We can use it.
It'd be worth asking.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right. So I that is a motion.
Okay, so it's been moved and seconded that we authorize up to $1,000 from the housing authorities operating funds for the website domain name and hosting. All in favor, raise your hand, say aye.
Aye.
I
4-0, thank you. I think it's going to be about half that amount, but that's good to have that. All right. On 95 Lawrence update, POA and CDP have begun reaching out for what they're calling informal info sessions with town department heads and some committees, and are looking to start to do that soon with the abutters and the public soon. So we'll look forward to hearing more about that. I think that they're working on the land disposition agreement with the town, and they're getting ready to file a project eligibility letter with DHCD, which is what they need to do to really get started, you know, working towards the comprehensive permit with the zoning board. They're working on updating 95 Lawrence information for the town website. And I hope we'll see that up there soon. That's kind of that general information about that. Gary, do you have anything from the partnership you wanted to?
Yes, the Summer Housing Angels event, which will feature the 40th anniversary of the Narrowland String Band, headed by Stephen Russell, will be on Sunday, August 7th, tentatively at 7 o'clock. Sunday, August 7th at 7 o'clock. But we'll be back to you with more information about how we can promote this and other details. One open question is whether we should have an auction or raffle items. And do people think that's a good idea or not? We raise some money. Do we raise some consciousness with that? Is it worth it?
I think if there are people willing to try to find a few wonderful items, it's worth it.
We do have a couple of items in the queue. The Modern House Trust has offered a weekend
Great.
at the Google Kibbs house.
Oh, that's wonderful.
We have oysters and then oyster tour and education thing that one of our members has offered. This possibility of a quilt. Sarah, maybe there's one other rental we could get. I think there's anybody in your stable who would donate an off-season weekend or a week.
I bet there is, most certainly. I could put it in my next sort of client newsletter.
If you could ask, I mean, it's still discussion, but you think, Elaine, if we get it, we should do it? Get these things, we should do it?
Yep. Yeah, especially, you know, if it can be advertised ahead of time so people come prepared.
Right. And then, you know, we don't want to make it too complex. So maybe we'd sell tickets or raffle tickets or have an auction. I don't know what the right thing to do is.
Right. Yeah. I don't know either, but we can ask people that
We
have.
can, right. Could I just say I sent an email to Stephen, you know, with those questions, and I'm
He's
waiting to
thinking
hear
about
back.
it. He'll get back to you.
Yeah, no, there's no
Yeah.
rush on it. The other question that came up, this is the 40th anniversary of the band, and we were originally thinking of 40 for 40. We're trying to raise $40,000, and then we would charge $40 per ticket. It's actually a suggested donation, but is that too much? We started talking about it and it seemed like, would we start excluding people?
I almost feel like a $25 ticket, like a
Yeah.
straight.
I'm
like-
thinking 40 is too much too, but what do other people think?
I don't know. It doesn't sound excessive to me. You
We
know,
can make it
but
$40 per suggested donation to cover an entire family.
I wouldn't have a suggested donation. I would have a ticket
What-
price.
Elaine, I think we have to make a suggested donation for the trust.
Okay.
I'm not 100% sure of that, but I think so. Anyway, so people don't think 40 is excessive?
Gary, I don't know is the answer. I mean, I'm trying to, you know,
Well,
figure out how these things work. Not my strength.
yeah,
I think the concept of trying to raise $40,000 is great, and
okay.
but maybe not connected to the ticket price somehow, just
Yeah.
through.
Well, think on it. If you have an opinion, let us know. We still have some time.
Yeah.
To work that out, so.
Yeah, I know Stephen was gonna contact Chris at Watt and ask about, you know, like if some of the money has to go to Watt, like if, you know, for people to order their tickets through Watt, that costs some money. So if Watt
Right.
has to take a little piece of it, we want to make sure we get as much as.
Well, that's, yeah, that was one of my questions, Elaine, is if Watt takes some, then the
Right.
$40 may be more justified, but,
Right, that's what he's checking that out with Chris.
okay,
that kind of thing. Yeah,
okay.
great. All right, let's see. Freeman Avenue, I think the potential RFP might still be on with Becky to get ready to go out. I think that's it for updates, unless anybody has any questions. Well, this has been great. Thank you for all the consideration of the things we have in front of us, and to continue thinking about people we can approach to fill our vacancy. And unless we need a special meeting, our next meeting will be Thursday, March 3rd at 10 a.m. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Is there a second?
second.
All in favor? Aye.
Bye.
Great. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Elaine.
Take
Thanks,
care,
Joe.
everybody. Stay safe.
Thanks, Stay
Yeah.
safe.
Oh, wait, I have to stop the recording, Elaine.